This is a video series on setting up JobBook. If you're joining us mid-series, I recommend starting from the beginning, since each video builds on the last. In the last section, I showed you how to set up your rate sheets in JobBook. In this section, we'll be looking at creating expense items in the JobBook system and seeing how they work. Let's look at what expense items are and how they fit into the system. Expense items are things your staff personally pay for and need to be reimbursed for. If all your staff use company credit cards and never need to be reimbursed for things they pay for, you wouldn't need to use expense items in JobBook. On the other hand, if you ever need to reimburse your employees for anything they purchase, this is where expense items come into play. In JobBook, expense items are tracked to a job, and you can view expenses on a per job basis. You'll also see these expenses when creating an invoice for that job. Best practice for billing staff expenses to customers is to record them as fixed price or equipment and material line items. It might become clearer after you watch our expense creation and expense approval video in the JobBook How to Use Guide series, or invoice creation in the same series. You can find a link to them in the description below this video. For now, let's hop into creating expense items in the system. From the dashboard, click the Navigate button in the top left corner. Then click on Administration. Then click on Expense Items. Finally, click the Create button. Expense items are very simple. All they have is a name. Let's create an expense item and name it Field Materials MISC. When you click the Save button, that will create the expense item in the JobBook system. Don't worry if you need to change something. You can always edit the expense item after creation. As you can see, our new expense item is now displayed on the item list. Unlike other line items, expense items don't have a set price in the system. The cost is entered by the employee when they submit the expense. I'll now create a few more expense items. Feel free to pause the video and create your own expense items. Okay, as you can see, I've created a bunch of expense items. These can now be used when employees create expenses in the JobBook system. We'll be using the same expense items created here in the How to Set Up JobBook series and also in the How to Use JobBook series. So how are expense items used? Expenses are created by your employees and are associated with a job. Once created, they need to be approved by a project manager. Reimbursements are handled outside the system, but can be tracked in JobBook. Expenses on jobs are tracked in the active job dashboard. When an invoice for a job is created, you'll be able to see all expenses associated with that job in the invoice. On invoice creation, the administrator can then choose what to do with these expenses. Either ignore them or include them as line items in the invoice. The administrator can also check off the expenses and they will get removed from the invoice screen. If you're interested in the expense approval workflow, see our JobBook How to Use Guide series. For more information on expense reports, see our JobBook Reporting Guide series, or click on the link below in the description to learn more. That is about all there is to expenses. In the next video, I'll show you how to create users and set up roles in JobBook. After that, we'll cover adding employees. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.